Okay, this is the practice test for the final in Computer Programming 1, and I have the instructions open in a Word document over here. And the first thing we want to do is take that sprite font that's already there and change the font size to 20, the style to bold italic, and the font name to Verdana. Okay, so we should have a font over here. Let's double click on it. And the font name is supposed to be Verdana. And the font size is supposed to be 20. And the font style down here is supposed to be bold italic. And notice it says up here that they are case sensitive. So I'm just going to do a Control C here, go down here and do Control V and paste it in. So you need the capital B, you need the capital I, you need a comma and a space in between. Otherwise, it's not going to like it. So let's close that. Yes, I want to save it. And let's flip back over to Word here, and we've just done those three items. Okay. Now, enumerator types. Declare an enumerator type called GameState that has three values, and I'm going to copy these, and we want a variable there called GameState. We want to initialize it to splash screen. So let's flip back over here. Let's open up our Game1 program, and up here, we'll go to the bottom of declarations here, open up a little space, and I want to create an enumerated type called GameState. Whoops, wrong curly bracket. There we go. I'm going to paste in the stuff, and let me see, that should work, I think. We'll just put them on separate lines here. And we don't need public with an enumeration like we do up here with struct. So I think that's good. Then we want to declare a variable here of type GameState. And GameState with a lowercase g. And then over here, what I want to do is I want to add some initialize statements, and I want my GameState variable to be equal to, and as soon as I hit spacebar, it automatically comes up with GameState. So just hit enter, and then dot, and then ask for splash, and then tab, and then semicolon, and you don't have to do very much typing there at all. Let's flip back over to Word, and we have done all three of those. Let's cross them out. Okay, arrays part 1. Write the declaration for a variable called Luke that is an array of sprite struct, and then in initialize, we want to initialize it to a size of 10. Okay, so let's write a declaration here called sprite struct. I'm sorry, type is sprite struct. The variable is called Luke. And whoops, I almost forgot, it's an array. So we got to put square brackets in to say that it's an array. Then down here I want to initialize it. So I got to use the word new, and then I got to tell that it's a sprite struct, and then in square brackets here I got to give the size, which is 10. Okay, that takes care of arrays part 1. Cross that off. Okay, now our content method, load content method. We want to load the font into the font variable, splash into the splash texture variable. Initialize splash screen rectangle, load Darth, and initialize Darth's field. Okay, so let's do this one step at a time here. Let's load the font variable and the splash picture. So in load content down here, font is the name of my variable, equals content.load sprite font, and it's just called font over there. So that's good. And then I want, let me check here, the splash screen texture. Yeah, splash screen texture equals content.load texture 2D, and it's just called splash over there on the right. So I'm looking over here at this. And let's go back over to our instructions, and so we've done these two. Let's cross it out, and it says initialize the screen splash screen rectangle to 0, 0, 400, 480. I'm going to go back up to initialize and do that, and splash screen rectangle equals new rectangle, and I'm going to put all four values here, 800, 480. Okay, and that takes care of this. I want to load the Darth picture into the texture field of the Darth variable. So Darth is a struct, and it has a texture property, and I want to set that texture property equal to content.load, and the one I want is over here on the right, and it's called Darth. So Darth, whoops, better say what it is first. It's a texture 2D, and then say that its name is Darth. Whoops. Okay, so then we want to initialize Darth's fields, and we want to initialize them to, okay, I'm going to copy this over here, and most of these are just basic default values, but okay, so I'm going to use this code here. I'm going to get all kinds of error messages here because it's bad, it's not legal code, but Darth.position equals new, and that is a vector 2, and it's going to be 400, 240. Okay, and then Darth source rectangle equals new rectangle, and it's going to be 0, 0, 100, 100. If you went in and looked over here, if you opened up the Darth image, you would find out it's 100 by 100. Okay, so I can delete that line. And then Darth.color equals color.white, and Darth.rotation equals 0, and Darth.origin equals new vector 2, and it's going to be 50, whoops, 50, 50. Darth.scale equals 1. Darth.effect, I call it sprite effect. I must call it effect. Yeah. Equals sprite effects dot none. And Darth.layer depth equals 0. Okay, now I don't need this junk anymore, so I can delete it. And let's flip back over here, and I've just taken care of these. And it says we're going to use a scale factor of 1, and so we can assume that he's going to occupy 100 by 100 pixel area of the screen. We want to load the ta-da sound file into the sound effect, and then we want to create a sound effect instance. Okay, and we want to write some code in load content to set the value of each texture in the Luke array to the luke.ping file. So let's go to our load content here, and I want to take my ta-da sound effect equals content dot load, and I want a sound effect, and the name of it is ta-da, and then I want to create ta-da sound effect instance equals, and I create that from an existing sound effect dot create instance. Okay, and that takes me through these two items, and we'll do this last item here, and then we'll end this video and start up with another one. So in load content, I want to load in to the texture field of each item in the array the file luke.ping. So there are 10 items in the array, so 4. And normally I wouldn't let you get away with i's less than 10. We'd probably want a constant up above, but I'm not quite that picky on tests because you kind of have some time pressure on a test. So what I want to do is I want to go to that item in the variable in the array, which is Luke sub I dot, and then I want to do texture equals content dot load, and it's going to be a texture, and it's called Luke. Okay, And that loop will get executed 10 times. The first time I is 0, and it'll load Luke into the texture field for Luke item number 0. Then it'll go to 1. It'll do the same thing all the way up to number 9. And this is probably a good time to quit, and we will continue with another video.